It's time for Danny Bonaduce, life coach. It's the Rick Jones version of the Danny Bonaduce life coach. 1-800-252-1025. That's our phone number. Let's jump to John and see if we can help John out there. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Morning. John?
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me?
John, you're
Sorry,
on with Danny Bonaduce and Rick Jones from Goldberg Jones. Did you have a question this morning?
Yeah, I still hear music. All I'm hearing is the music in the background.
How about now, John?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know what we did, but it was awesome. Go ahead.
I was awarded a house, and the decree states that a refinance will be done, and that's happened. It also says there'll be cooperation in signing a quit claim deed or other documents.
Right.
So I would like a warranty deed instead of the quit claim deed because it would give me a clear title versus a quit claim deed does not. Is that correct?
Well, technically it's correct, but is there any doubt that she doesn't have any sort of title prior?
It should be fine, but I just want to make sure I feel more comfortable with it.
Is this a house that the two of you owned while married?
Correct.
Okay. More than likely, you're the one that's in a position to know whether or not the two of you already had clear title.
Right.
And it's also something that you can do with the title check. So that being said, more than likely it's not an issue, and a quitclaim is probably 98% the most common thing that happens in a divorce. A warranty deed, which sounds like something you already know, basically assures or guarantees that she had something to give away.
Right, but you're saying that John can probably sleep nights with his head on the pillow with a quit claim.
That's right.
Cool. Hey, thank you for the call there, John. I appreciate it.
If you've got a question for the life coach or Rick Jones from Goldberg Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE, you can call us now at 800-252-1025. And the next caller is Stu in Graham.
Hey, Stu, what's up?
Hey, Danny, huge fan. Mr. Jones, just need a person like you involved in our case. We've got, I'm a single dad that was awarded full custody of his 3 young daughters here in the state of Washington, which is very rare, as I'm sure you're aware. Due to an accident lately with the oldest daughter, was charged with a crime of domestic violence 4, had all 3 kids taken by CPS and removed from the home. I fully intend on showing that, being acquitted on these charges, but in the meantime, what can I do with CPS and getting my other 2 children home?
Sure. Unfortunately, you're in kind of a tough spot right now.
Yeah, he is.
It's really about time playing out. Once CPS gets involved, family law attorneys really have to step away a little bit. The best thing that a family law attorney can do is to facilitate communication. And unfortunately, you're about to get put through a little bit of an obstacle course. But that's okay as long as you have the stick-to-itiveness to jump when they say jump and to get through these things, get acquitted, and ultimately get your kids back.
Right, now I'm going to say this. Let's just assume that Stu did not do this. Let's play in that regard. Here's the thing. You're going to want to scream and yell and say, what are you doing? Give me my kids. You're out of your mind. You guys suck. Man, Rick Jones couldn't have been more right. When the Children's Services gets involved, everybody has to believe what they say, because no matter what they do, no matter how crazy it sounds, they're saying this is in the best case of the child, and everybody just backs up. So here's the answer. Bide your time on this one. Just bide your time. Let them do their magic until your kids come home to you.
The next caller for Danny Bonaduce Life Coach with special guest Rick Jones from Goldberg Jones is Johnny in Port Orchard.
Hey, Johnny.
Hello. Can you tell me if withholding sex in a marriage is grounds for divorce?
Oh, I think it's grounds for assault.
Oh.
I was going to say it is in my book. Let's even go back up the ladder of your question, which is, do you need any grounds for divorce in Washington? The answer is no.
Right.
We're a no-fault state. So, you could not like the way somebody parts their hair, and that would be sufficient to file for divorce in your world. So, no, it's not grounds, but, it probably leads to the choices you make, right?
Yeah, but having said that, aren't there things in kind of oldie-timey law where the denial of a spouse spousely duties and things like that. Weren't there things saying you kind of had to have sex with your spouse?
Yeah, I think there was.
Yeah, I think there was.
Yeah.
Why'd you get rid of that, you guys?
Because if you want to get divorced, you don't need a reason.
I know, but I just like it, and I've had, this is where I come into, I have a little expertise. I've had way more divorces than you, mister. I would like to be able to look at any one of my ex-wives or even say my wife and say, hey, you know what, you got to break it out every now and again. I don't care if you like me or not. Yeah, I'm going to take the house if you don't do it. Apparently those days are gone.
Days are long
Who
gone.
knew?
So, Johnny, are you still there?
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
Are you good? Does that answer your question?
I am.
All right. Good luck to you. And Molly in Everett is the next caller. This is Life Coach with a special appearance from Rick Jones from Goldberg Jones. Of course, you can reach him at 1-800-DIVORCE or call in now with your question, 800-252-1025.
Hi.
Hey.
My question is about child support. If your child out of high school and didn't go to college the first year out of high school, so child support ended. I didn't pursue modification. But now she wants to go to college. She's still living at home, and then I'll be supporting her by myself. Is there any thing I can do to reinstate child support in this late stage?
Well, I'm going to split hairs a little bit. Child support itself has stopped because the child is either 18 or finished high school, whichever's later. So that's already occurred. In your support order, though, there will be a paragraph titled Post-Secondary Educational Support.
I got that one.
And that's speaking to college. Do you remember what that says?
No.
Okay. Go back and take a look at it. More often than not, it says the issue is reserved and either parent can raise it so long as it's raised before child support ends. And if it says that, that's bad news to you. If it says post-secondary educational support shall be paid, then that's good news for you.
But what's the usually? When you say, like, you gave 98% on the question earlier, what's this one to go with?
Molly, how long ago did you get divorced?
1997.
Okay, then I can't imagine it's going to speak to post-secondary. If anything, it's going to say reserved. And if it says reserved, unfortunately, it's too late.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case. Thank you. And thank you, Molly.
But it's nice that the answer is right there in her paperwork. So
Yeah.
problem solved in that
I think that
respect.
happens a lot. When Rick is here, he'll just say,
Yeah.
you know what, you need to look at your divorce decree, and the answer's right there. You can have this answer. So, we love your phone calls, but there's one of the things you can know is that it might be, the answer to your question might be there in your divorce decree.
Well, and it helps when Rick Jones explains specifically what language it is that they're looking for. And when you look at those documents, they don't make any sense. When Rick Jones is here, everything makes perfect sense.
My divorce decree actually said, get out of the house and go now. So I kind of understood it.
Richard in Tacoma, you're on with Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach, and Rick Jones from Goldberg Jones.
Good morning.
Morning.
Long story short, my daughter and granddaughters moved in with me and my wife about a little over a year ago. She is a terrible mother, self-absorbed, yells, screams at the girls, and my wife and I spend 90% of our time with the girls. I know as a grandparent I don't have any legal right to custody, but is there a backdoor way in?
Well, you don't have any rights to custody right now. There still is a potential avenue called third-party custody action, which is the back door, I guess, for grandparents. Unfortunately, though, the standard is much, much higher. Rather than the standard of best interest of the child,
Right.
which would happen in a divorce case, you really have to be the person that's coming in to replace a level of unfitness. And unfitness has to rise to a pretty high level. I mean, we're basically talking issues of domestic violence. We're talking issues of significant drug abuse, things like that.
Yeah, when I heard she's self-absorbed, I went, yeah, these aren't really going to work for you in court. Man, she takes 4 hours to get ready to go out. No, that's not one for taking the kids away.
All right, we've got time for more calls on Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. And next is Kelly in Seattle.
Hey, Kelly.
Hello.
What's up?
My question is that my husband and I, of 22 years, are divorcing. We've got some real estate. He's trying to liquidate everything and leaving me with no money to try and get legal aid. And what can I do? I've cared for this man ever since we got married. He was injured on the job, and I've been caring for him and our daughter, and I just want to try and start my life over.
Sure.
What can I do?
Do you work outside the home?
No, I'm disabled.
Okay. Well, here's what you can do. What I'd recommend certainly is start picking up the phone and calling some attorneys. There is the possibility that as part of your divorce and temporary orders, you may be able to get an award of attorney fees in the meantime. Now, not all attorneys are willing to take that risk with you, but you may find somebody that is. And if that's the case, then getting temporary orders in place at least allows a flow of money to come to you in the way of spousal maintenance and or attorney fees that at least give you the chance to fight back. I want to speak to one other issue too, which is you immediately need to get what's called a restraining order that prevents him from liquidating these items. The courts will liberally grant this restraining order because they want a clear path. They want to be able to see what was there. They don't want somebody hiding assets or playing unfairly in this process.
Is that difficult to get?
No, it's extremely easy.
Really? All right, where does she go? Down to the courthouse, ask for the right paperwork?
Well, it's along with the filing of a divorce. Right. So, unfortunately, she probably does need to hire an attorney, but get on the phone. Get on the phone, start making calls.
Anytime anybody says to me, I'm not going to do this with a lawyer, I'm just going to save some money, I go, no, you're not. I promise you in the long run, you are not going to save any money not having a lawyer.
Good luck to you, Kelly. Matt in Squim, you are on with Danny Bonaduce, life coach, and Rick Jones from Goldberg Jones.
Hey, Matt.
Good morning.
What's up, buddy?
My divorce was final in June, and I was never let into my house to get my possessions. I was awarded half the contents of the house, which she never let me in to get. So I'm just wondering, can I still, being 4 or 5 months later, somehow go into my house or have someone go into my house to get my possessions?
Well, there's the easy way and the hard way, and apparently the easy way isn't working.
Right.
She's not agreeing to it.
Now, when you say she won't let you in, is she actually locking you out? Has she changed the locks?
She changed the locks, yeah.
Right.
That was like in February she changed the locks, and I can't,
Sure. Well, here's the hard way, but it still may work out for you. You've got a decree of dissolution that basically lays out what it is that's coming your way that she has not complied with. So you can bring what's called a motion to enforce with the court. Now, along with that motion, though, you're also going to be asking to get attorney fees. So it's kind of the double whammy. When you get in front of the court, she's going to be in front of there, and the court's going to say, ma'am, why haven't you let him get his stuff? It says on these papers you're supposed to. She's not going to have a very good answer. So the fact that you've taken up this court's time, they may be frustrated, and they may slap her with an attorney fees judgment on top of it.
Nice. Hey, thanks for the call, Matt. I appreciate it.
We've got time for one last call on Danny Bonaduce, life coach, and it is Becky calling from Kent.
Hey, Becky.
Good morning.
Morning.
So here's my question. Divorced in 2010. Ex-husband has an income 3 times the size of mine. Assets were divided up, and he stopped paying on his side, so I'm getting the collection notices now and whatnot. Cars have been repossessed, that kind of thing. I was told that if I file bankruptcy, he has the legal right to turn around and take me to court for a judgment because I'm damaging his credit and not paying the obligations that we were mutually responsible for. So does he get a win-win in that situation where he walks away and can sue me for money?
I'm not seeing a win-win. If anything, I see a lose-lose. But ultimately, the tool that you have to try and recoup what it is that he's damaging is called a hold harmless provision. Oh. Basically, it says in your divorce papers that anything he was required to pay, if for any reason you end up having to pay it, you then have a right to sue against him. You may also have a motion to enforce, just like we were talking about with the last caller. That's something I'd need to know a little bit more about. But ultimately, I can't, I'm hard-pressed to imagine a situation where he's the one that has the greater obligation and the greater income, yet you filing bankruptcy is somehow going to harm you more than the bankruptcy.
Yeah, I think that might be true for you, Becky, because you believe it to be true. I don't think it is. I think you're giving yourself a hard time here. Follow Rick's advice on this. I think you're in a much better position than you think you are. And thank you very much for the phone call. Hey, that's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce, life coach, with our special guest, Rick Jones. By the way, Danny Bonaduce, life coach, brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.